At 19,341 feet at the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, my body just stopped. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. At that moment, I realized that I'd been living my whole life that same way, pushing myself until I break. What happened on that mountain changed everything for me. I can't stop thinking about it. I learned a lot from it, and I'm gonna be very vulnerable with you today. If you've ever felt like you're burned out trying to chase your dreams, then hopefully what I'm about to share today will help. Now, if you've ever climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, or if you've ever researched climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, you know that on summit night, from most of the routes, you reach the first summit point, Stella Point, at 18,885 feet. And from there, you keep hiking another 45 minutes or so until you reach Uruhu Peak, the true summit, at 19,341 feet. So a few days ago, when I got to Stella Point, I was feeling pretty good. The sun was about to rise. I felt strong. I had trained well. I had summited Kilimanjaro last year, so there was no question in my mind that I was gonna make it to the peak. But then something happened. Kilimanjaro decided to humble me, and I realized that in all of my lead up to summit night on Mount Kilimanjaro, I had made one critical mistake. I hadn't eaten enough. I hadn't fueled my body properly, and at Stella Point, my tank was just about on empty. I don't know how you feel at high altitude, but sometimes it's really hard for me to eat above 15,000, 16,000 feet. Our bodies need calories, especially when we're climbing big mountains. They need energy. But since cancer, I've had a really sensitive stomach, and sometimes at altitude, I just can't eat. So on summit night, by the time I reached Uruhu Peak, I was in bad shape. Endurance athletes call it bonking. It basically means that all of my glycogen stores were completely depleted, and my performance on the mountain was significantly impacted. My brain knew where I was and what I was doing, but I couldn't get my legs to cooperate with what my brain was trying to tell them to do. It felt like I just had no energy. When I got to the summit, the guide said we had just a few minutes before we had to leave. They were really trying to rush people on the summit and get us back down to lower altitudes, but I couldn't move. I got to the summit and I just sat there, slumped over, and I told the group, something's not right. Thankfully, I was hiking with an amazing group of women, and they rushed right up to help me. They were literally shoving energy tubes down my throat. They were giving me water. They were giving me support and encouragement. And they were just all surrounding me. And then the guides were like, we have to get down. So everyone kind of gathered their day packs and started to hurry down the mountain, except for one woman. She stayed. She helped me up. She took a summit picture of me, and then she just helped me start to walk down the mountain, one shaky step at a time. It was on this mountain at 19,341 feet that something clicked. I realized that what happened to me on Uruhu Peak wasn't just about not eating enough. It was about how I seemed to just approach everything in my life. I push until I just can't go anymore. And while some people would say that maybe that's a good trait, to just go and never quit, I decided at that point that I needed to stop breaking myself, and I needed to start fueling my business, my life, and my dreams wisely. Now, for the past couple months, I've been really distracted thinking that I need to do something big. I've been thinking that what I'm doing right now here at Hike Like a Woman doesn't have a big enough impact. And there's two communities that I'm very passionate about because I'm part of those communities. The first is the breast cancer community. The second is the community of female veterans, especially female combat veterans, that really gets overlooked. So for the past 2 months, I've been putting together plans, brainstorming, researching, and thinking about starting a nonprofit for women who have had breast cancer and for female military veterans. And with this nonprofit, my goal was to provide space for adventure and adventure travel for these two very different demographics. I just think it'd be so special to stand on the summit of Kilimanjaro with a group of women who've had breast cancer, or to trek to Everest Base Camp with female veterans. That all sounds really amazing, but here's the truth. Right now, I don't have the energy or the resources to start a separate nonprofit to accommodate these two groups. On Kilimanjaro, I should have fueled my body better, and in life, I need to fuel my dreams better too. And instead of burning out trying to do everything and trying to be everything to everyone, I really just need to focus on one big adventure at a time, one big task at a time. I also don't think it's the right thing for me to be focusing my time and effort on right now. And sometimes the bravest thing that we can do is admit when something isn't right, even if it sounds really noble, really good, and really fun. The next thing that I learned on summit night is that I need to stop worrying about income, and I need to start thinking about impact. I started Hike Like a Woman almost 13 years ago. We've been around a long time, and there was a time when Hike Like a Woman was a very successful and profitable business. There was a time when I had big media attention. There was a time when I had big brand partnerships coming in from some of the largest brands in the world with some of the deepest pockets in the world. I had employees, and there was so much. We had a digital magazine, we had a podcast, we had a blog, we had online courses, we had all of these things going. But then I shut it all down after cancer. And now we're back to a place where Hike Like a Woman has barely enough money to keep the lights on, but we're also back to a place where Hike Like a Woman is now in line and in sync with the values that were lost during that period of significant growth and significant profit. I think that for so long I measured the success of Hike Like a Woman by how much money the business made. And while it's a little frustrating to kind of be back where we started at the summit at Uruhu Peak, when I was surrounded by all of these women who were supporting each other, I realized that maybe it's not so much about income. Maybe it's more about impact. And instead of trying to measure income and think of ways to generate more money, maybe I'm looking at it all wrong. Maybe I need to look at it, and maybe I need to think about how many women have been supported and encouraged when they've joined me for one of our amazing adventure trips all over the world. Impact, not income. That is my new measure of success. Right now, I just want to focus on making a difference, and I think if I can do that, then maybe the income will eventually come. And really, that's just the struggle of small business ownership. The other thing that I learned is even if you climb the same mountain twice, there's still something to learn from it. About a year and a half ago, I sold my ski shop, and I've been able to just pour 100% of my time and energy into Hike Like a Woman. And even though I'm very privileged to be able to do that, sometimes I still feel like I don't have a good sense of where I'm going and what I want. Is it just to lead 4 to 5 trips a year? What kind of career is that? Am I more of a stay-at-home mom than a business owner? Sometimes that is a little blow to my ego because I've always had a career. Or maybe I'm right where I need to be right now. And maybe Kilimanjaro showed me my purpose on this second climb. Maybe my purpose is just to keep supporting and encouraging women and showing them that we can do hard things and that we can climb big mountains, and that when we climb big mountains together, really incredible things happen. I think that every time we climb a mountain, it teaches us something about ourselves. And the question that I've been asking myself is, what will my next adventure teach me? And how can I create quiet space in my life to really listen to what my heart is telling me about what I need to do? Now, Amanda, who stayed with me on summit night, she really showed me what leadership is. Sometimes it's stopping, sometimes it's slowing down, and sometimes it's just helping somebody else. So I guess you could say that I learned a really big lesson on Kilimanjaro. I'm done pushing myself until I break. I'm done measuring success by standards that don't serve me. I'm committed to fueling my dreams wisely. I'm committed to measuring impact over income and staying curious about what each new adventure will teach me. Now I'm curious, what is one adventure that's been calling to you? Is there one that scares you just a little bit? That's your Kilimanjaro. And that's the summit that will teach you something about yourself that you didn't know before. So go ahead, drop me a comment below, and I'll keep sharing with you the real, messy, honest journey of building something meaningful in the outdoors.